Welcome to another instructional video from Mostyn Industries. Today we're going to look at a product we sell. It's on the website. It's a tank cleaner, rust prevention and sealer. We'll go through the three-stage process as well as the steps, the safety things you need. We've got a tank here. This was all cleaned up, and once we cleaned up we realised that there was some rust in it that could let some holes through eventually and let fuel out. So obviously a safety issue. So first things first, let's have a look at the kit. In the kit you get this chemical wash. That's the first stage. The next one is the rust preparation. This not only reduces your rusting inside the tank, but it also leaves a coating, or sort of like a fine white coating, that allows the third stage to adhere to the tank better. This is not a short process, but I mean, like anything, if you want to do it right, take your time and get it right. So look, the first step we're going to do is talk about your safety stuff. Gloves are a good idea. Probably not a bad idea to wear goggles or at least some sort of eye protection. Anytime you're working with chemicals, that applies. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that. The first stage we're going to do, and some of this stuff is slightly corrosive as well, and so don't get it on your hands or your body. Make sure if you do, you wash it. First thing we're going to do, once I get these gloves on, there we go, is we're going to, with this chemical wash, we're going to go a 1-to-1 ratio with hot water. So in a bucket like this, I've got the hot water I want to use. Just going to pour that in. Like I said, that's a 1-to-1 ratio. So in this case, what is that? That's a litre there. So we've got now 2 litres of stuff in the tank, in the bucket. Now the other thing I've done here is, this is basically free of stuff on the inside. Definitely remove your tank from the bike. It's because you want to swish it around, you want to do all sorts of crazy things to your tank. It's a good idea. In this case, I've just sealed up. You can use a cork or tape, but I've sealed up anywhere where there's a hole. When you're doing this, if you've got a what's it called, like a fuel filter, internal fuel filter, or anything that you don't want to get mucked around with, even the levels, the fuel levels, if you've got something like that, remove that and find a way of sealing up your fuel tank. As I say, cork, tape, whatever it has to be. You don't want this stuff flying everywhere when you start moving around. So in this case, we've got the tank there. I'm just going to pour. I'm not going to pour all of it in. We just want to pour enough to be able to slosh it around. So we've probably used a third or so there. It's not the nicest smelling stuff. What I might do is I'm going to get our camera lady. Where's the cap for this? Is it in there? Be a good idea to get the cap and just so you get a really good swish around. It's going to, actually, you might notice there's just a little bit of brown water coming out now, so this one definitely needs doing. I can see it's cleaning up in there already. Yeah, so a good idea is, if you've got the cap, use it. Actually, no. Well, we're not going to. I can see it already. It's moving around all in there, so it's doing what it's supposed to do. Now, the idea of this is just to clean it all up. You can see I don't have much in the way of fuel of the wash coming out. So we're going to do that probably 3 times, and rinse this out, put another one in, rinse it out, put another one in, and then we're going to put water through it until the water comes out clean. That's the first stage. So you probably don't want to see me swishing this around for 10 or 20 minutes. So we'll stop the video now and we'll come back to you when it's done and we go into stage 2. Okay, so here's our tank. It's now completely dry. This is the next day. Being winter, it took longer than it would normally. So I've given it 24 hours, no water in there at all, perfectly clean. Next stage is this rust prep. This actually goes in undiluted, so we're going to just pour that straight in. Now obviously same deal, you've got your gloves. We've sealed up the bottom there. This time I've also remembered to have the cap with me. When you pour this in, obviously be careful, once again you're talking chemicals. The idea of this is to change the chemical consistency of the rust, exactly the same as a rust converter. It also changes the surface of the tank itself, and it allows the next stage, the last stage, which is the sealant, to adhere to it properly. So we're quite literally just going to pour this in. Now with this, I'm actually going to use about half of it. Really decent sized tank. With this, the idea is you swish it around every 5 minutes or so. So you've got to, you can do this for a minimum of 20 minutes, but not more than an hour. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop the video again. It's literally just making sure it gets around everywhere. You want it to coat every bit of the inside surface, and it's going to start doing what it wants to do. So that's perfect. So we're just going to stop the video. I'll keep doing this for probably the next, it's pretty bad in there, so probably the next 40 minutes, every 5 minutes I'll just keep swishing it around like that. Don't allow it to dry like that. It's really important that it stays wet in there, and then what we're going to do is we're going to flush water through it again, and we may have to leave it until tomorrow before we can put the sealant on. So we'll stop that and we'll go from there. Day 3, we're looking at our tank again. Yesterday afternoon I put the rust prevention stuff through it and swished it around for almost an hour. This was a pretty bad tank, so I did it sort of on the upper limit. Then I'd washed it through with water a few times and dried it out. By that stage there's no fuel residue or anything like that, so I also got a heat blower and just put some hot air through there, just to make sure that she was totally dry. So obviously by this morning I kept it inside. She's good in there. I'm looking in. I can see where the rust was. It's changed colour. It's just like a rust prevention thing. It's got a sort of a bit of a pale white film over the top, just the slightest one, and it doesn't look anything like rust. It's not, it's nowhere near as bad as it was. So the last step is some sealant. The sealant we're going to put through comes in the kits we have. Comes in just a 250ml thing like that. Don't shake it when you want to before you use it. Just stir it. There's other things that you need to know about it. There's a full instruction sheet on that that comes with the kit. But don't put the lid back on it and then allow it to dry. Things can explode. Quite simply, all we're going to do now is pour it in and swish it around. So I've stirred that for probably 5 minutes now, and it's taken on a nice silver consistency. And 250 mils will do a whole tank. Thankfully I've already checked, and I did I have fixed up the bung on the bottom side. I'm not going to put the tank lid on. I'm just going to swirl it around like this, just slowly moving it around. Things to look out for here. The important thing, actually I have to say, is that you get a good consistency. You don't want to leave puddles in any way that'll take too long for it to dry, because it's a coating. Most of the rust on most tanks tends to be at the bottom. In this case it was definitely at the back here more than anywhere else. So we're just, so that's the most important thing for me. But the 250 mils will get you a fairly good coverage of your whole tank. And you just move it around like that. And in this case, actually, there's quite a lip in here. So if there was excess in there, you can sometimes get it out. Because there's a lip, I'm just going to have to keep rolling this around to make sure that it gets a nice even film throughout the whole tank. But so in this case, we had a couple of little spots there, a couple of spots on that side. I'm sure that'll be fine. For the hell of it, I am going to put a little bit on the top there as well. Just doesn't hurt. And I look in there now, and there's a nice silver consistency over everything. You can see it's a nice silver film. That's it. So from here, we're going to wait 3 or 4 days, and then we'll put fuel in it. And you're laughing if you don't do any extreme temperatures there. Try and keep it warm. Don't get it too hot. Be patient. You've gone through all this effort. There's no point in putting fuel in it after a day only to find that the fuel's going to react with it somehow. The instructions say leave it 4 or 5 days, so leave it that long, you know. That's it. That's the lot. So next thing we'll do is 4 or 5 days we'll put some fuel in it, and we'll have a tank that doesn't leak. And this one's got a bit messy with all the chemicals, so this one we're actually going to polish up again and go from there. So thanks for watching. Any questions, feel free to put a comment on YouTube or go through our Facebook page or even through our website. You should see if I'm smart enough, I'll put a little subtitle at the bottom somewhere here. And I know that was some video wizardry right there. And yeah, feel free to like us on Facebook. Yeah, we've got a shop there for anything else. I'll maybe even try and put the link up for the sealant, so if you do want this kit, you can buy it directly through us at the website. Alright, thanks for watching. Hope it didn't go on too long, and we'll see you for the next DIY video.